Good morning, you're welcome, depending on where you're listening from. I want to say you're welcome to a wonderful day. This is Saturday, 16th of November. The year is gradually coming to an end, and we want to also appreciate those who have been following us and those who have been commenting, those who have also been giving their views and their opinion regarding some sensitive issues. This is a BHF Media, as I said, this time out with Elo David. And we are here to look at the issues and what is making news around the country, around the world, and how it's affecting the youth. This is a youth organization. BHF Foundation is a youth organization. It's a foundation that is set up to handle the issue of drugs, cult, and also sexual immorality, which seems to be the front burner today as regarding the youths, and also even some young adults and a little bit middle-aged men are involved in these things regularly. Now, today we want to also say we are gradually, as I said, we are gradually coming to the end of the year, and today happens to be the election, in the governorship election in Ondo State, with about 16 contestants who are participating in this election. And the only thing we can say is that we hope that INEC is prepared for the election. INEC will always tell you that they are prepared for the election, but at the end of the day, we've been seeing that for some time now, the credibility of INEC has been at stake. People will tell you they don't have confidence in INEC at all, especially after the 2023 election, presidential election, that is still shrouded with controversies and the rest, and there are many people who still don't believe that the person who won the presidency was the right person. There are people who still believe that election was marked with irregularities. I remember what happened that very day. We were told that immediately you vote, you cast your vote, it will be sent straight to the IRF, that we store and monitor the vote. So we are told that from each polling unit, the result will be sent immediately. In fact, INEC spent, if I'm not mistaken, about 305 billion. That's what Mahmoud spent to upgrade INEC and to make the election a little bit transparent. As during the tenure of President Muhammadu Buhari, a lot of money was spent on INEC. And people were so happy that for the first time we might have a transparent election, because the idea was that immediately after you vote, you will count it, and right there in your present, it will be transmitted straight to the IRF, which happens to be like a board where all the elections will be stored and prepared for collation. I remember after we voted that very day, we all sat there, we were waiting, and the irony of it all then was that after the Senate and House of Rep, after the election, it was all sent. Those ones went. The Senate election, the House of Rep. In fact, the National Assembly election was the same day with the presidential election. And the National Assembly election was sent to the IRF, both Senate and House of Rep. But when it got to that of the presidency, no network. We moved from place to place, no network. We were not able to fill it. We waited and waited. In fact, that very day, a lot of us insisted that we are not going to leave here until they sent it. It continued like that until police came and they tried to resolve the issue. That the police said they will escort it to the collation center where they will be collated and the rest, blah, blah, blah. That is in fact, that is, immediately they said that, most of us know the story don't enter. No, you don't enter. Everything went for the presidency. So we ended up having a situation right now where we have a president who is on seats that many people still believe they didn't win the election because it was not transparent. So INEC has been involved in one form of funny elections since then. Funny elections. The last one being one of Edo State. People saw it. People knew that there's something wrong with the election. So continuously we keep seeing elections that are funny, very funny, very funny. And you begin to ask yourself, why are we spending so much money for an election where that the result has already been decided? and I asked myself, I said, is this what democracy is all about? Because if we look at how much we have spent, both for INEC, upgrading of INEC, and also for the electoral process in this country, it's enough to be able to build Nigeria, if I should use that word. But the government has no business. I mean, they don't have any worry in wasting money on INEC and conducting election, as long as they know definitely that at the end of the day, it is what they want that will become. So it is not about the will of the people anymore. The election in Nigeria has nothing to do with the will of the people. Everybody in the country knows that. The grassroots, except the child that was born today, the child that was born yesterday knows that the election in Nigeria is a very controversial election. The elections are not transparent at all. If the election between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, if it was presided over by INEC, be rest assured that you have a different result. You have a different result. So it's all about the highest bidder taking off. That's the election, the African election, the Nigerian election. It has nothing to do with the will of the people. It has everything to do with the highest bidder. Those days we used to hear of using money to induce the electorate, where people will be giving money, 10,000, 5,000, Indomie and the rest, so that they can be able to manipulate them, so that they can vote whoever the government wants. But nowadays we have, like people say nowadays, people don't bother for electorate anymore. They've decided to buy the entire INEC. So we need the government and the ruling class. They need to do more to assure the people that INEC can be trusted. We keep talking about, I remember the other time we were talking about the judiciary, how they are giving funny results, how they are just help to rubber stamp whatever rigging that INEC has done already. The judiciary will just help them to stamp it. But there is so much blame on the judiciary. But I ask myself, it's not about blaming the judiciary. If the electoral process was even done transparently well, we will not have any issue with the judiciary. You see, and people go to court. They don't go to court because they lose. They go to court because they feel they've been cheated. If there is a transparent election, clear election, and the result came out clearly, there is nothing to challenge. In America, for example, have you heard anything about Kamala Harris saying he's going to court? The result was very clear. The Americans decided. The popular vote was over 5 million. The electoral college vote was over 325 or 35 million. They won both houses of the National Assembly, both Senate and also National Assembly. The Republicans won. So it was very clear that there is a clear defeat. But I can assure you, if that election, if this President INEC were the one that presided over that election in America, there is no way Kamala Harris will not win. Because the only person so far that have shown a little bit of democratic tendency, that has written down his name in gold, that in the next 100 years, when the issue of Nigerian democracy is being talked about, the only person that is a Democrat that will be respected is President Goodluck Jonathan, a sitting president that has all the presidential powers, but also decided to say no, let the will of the electorate prevail. I mean, after that election, there was enough reason for President Jonathan to cancel the election, because they noticed that there are a lot of widespread rigging, there was a lot of widespread manipulation. But as a Democrat, a silent Democrat, all these people that are shouting, that have been shouting for the past 20 years, 25 years, for the past 30 years in Nigeria, moving up and down, shouting, fighting for democracy. They are Democrat, they are Democrat, fighting for democracy. We have seen that they are not. These are just people who want to grab power by all means. They don't know nothing about democracy. And so what we have in Nigeria today, is it democracy? It's not democracy. What we have in Nigeria is civilian rule. Because the foundation upon which that 2023 election was contested and won is still an issue with many people. There are many people who are still not satisfied, and subsequently we have seen, look at You're welcome back. So we've seen again, we've seen what happened in the last previous election. We will be bringing you bit by bit. We've seen what happened in the last previous election. We will be bringing you bit by bit of the electoral process. Please, you are going to stay hung on with us in the next few minutes. We will try as much as possible to see that as we get report from the election in Ondo State, we'll be bringing it to you on a regular basis. In a few minutes from now, we'll be going off to go and see how we can get more and more information with our correspondent on the ground to tell you what is going on, so we can bring them to you. We only hope that the election is transparent, because so far I can tell you that the INEC themselves have scored 0. If they ask me what are you going to give INEC, this present INEC, especially under the present chairmanship of Mahmoud, if they ask me to score them, I will score them F9. They have failed woefully. They have failed woefully. The electoral process has been funny. The vote buying was on. In the Edo State election, there was a lot of vote buying, and funny enough, the security agents, some of them saw this vote buying, and the people are so comfortable even with the security agents being there while they are carrying out their manipulation. They are so confident that nothing will happen. So they were road buying. Our correspondent on the ground there told us what happened in the Edo State election. It was a kangaroo of an election, but again, the winner has been declared, the winner has been sworn in. But the question is, how long are we going to continue with this kind of democracy? This is what Fela called demonstration of grace. Demonstration of grace. Crazy demonstration. So people, they just rig their way to office. That is why you see we don't have good governance. It's going to be very difficult to have good governance except we have good electoral process. Except we have a transparent election. There is no way we are going to have a good electoral process. We must have a transparent election. But do we have a transparent election in Nigeria with INEC? Like I said, people are still in doubt. People are still in doubt. So we are going to see if there's going to be an improvement. And so far, INEC has not improved at all. And sadly enough, INEC keeps getting worse and worse and worse. No matter the outcome of the election today, you take it to court. At the end of the day, we have enough judges who can just come up with anything. And even when it is clear that there was rigging, they will still have a way of telling one story or the other until the whole thing will be scrapped up and it will be sworn in. And once the person is sworn in, there's going to be an issue. So I think we should have, let's see how we can be able to improve on our electoral system where everything about the election will be concluded, but the litigation will be concluded before the person is sworn in. Like the last one, you already have somebody sitting as president, and you are going to a tribunal to say you can remove him as president. It's not going to work. The stress, the bureaucracy is going to be like a confusion. So it's an added advantage for whoever rigged himself to power to remain in power. So there must have, let's just conclude the election, conclude the litigation, because I know there will continue to be litigations before the person is sworn in. You don't swear somebody in as a president or as a governor, and the case is still in court, and you expect the person to lose. It will never happen, never. Because the person has been sworn in, is the president, for example, is in charge. He appoints the judges, he appoints the police, he appoints the IG, he appoints everything, the security agency, all the instruments of government he has taken over. Now, which court will now remove that person that he didn't win the election after he has been made president? It's something that is not possible. So we must try to develop our electoral system, because rigging will continue as long as what is invoked is stealing. It's stealing. It's not about the people. Leadership in Nigeria has nothing to do with the people. One of the easiest ways to become a millionaire or a billionaire in Nigeria is to rig yourself to power. If you succeed, no matter who, even if you borrow money from the bank and you succeed in rigging yourself to become president or rigging yourself to become governor, you are sure to end up as a millionaire. You cannot be a governor for 8 years, a president for 8 years in Nigeria, and you are not a multi-billionaire. Because the leadership in Nigeria has nothing to do about the people. It's not the people. It's not the welfare of the people. It's about their own pockets, their relatives, their friends, their children, their sons, their daughters, and their close allies. It's about feeding them. That's why you find out that we keep producing political billionaires while the nation is suffering. Look at what is happening right now in Nigeria, massive poverty. But we saw a video that went viral at that time, a minister that was appointed, and in less than 6 months, he has bought 6 houses in Canada. Canada alone, he has acquired 6 houses, millions and millions of dollars. So in a bad economy, the politicians are doing well, because immediately you are appointed into one position or the other, it has nothing to do with the welfare of the people. It has everything to do with how they enrich themselves. Look at the last, is it the last Olympics we went to, so that Nigeria came out last. They didn't win any medal. And they said they spent about 12 billion. So you begin to ask yourself, what did they use the money to do? The minister is no more there. I think they removed the minister of sport already. So it's about the people. It's about themselves, not the people. Leadership in Nigeria has nothing to do with the welfare of the people. Leadership in Nigeria is about suffering the people, punishing the people to enrich those in power. It's about those in power, those in power. You see, when they were talking about subsidy at that time, for a very long time, right from Jonathan time, we were saying subsidy, remove subsidy, it will go into other sectors, Nigerians will be better, they will enjoy it. They continue to Buhari time, subsidy, remove it. Okay, they finally remove it during Tinubu's time. How has that impacted the people? Nothing. Even with the removal of subsidy, the life of people is worse. So you ask yourself, the money for subsidy that they remove, what are they using it to do? You cannot explain it. They give money to the governors and the rest, and now the governors have more money. The more money the governors have, the poorer the people are. So we keep focusing on the presidency alone, not just the presidency. We should also focus on the governors. What are the governors doing with the money they give to them? They receive billions and billions every month. And what is the workforce of the governors? There are some governors that don't have up to 30,000 staff, civil servants and staff in their states. The governors don't pay the private sector. Even the 30,000 that they have, the 30,000 workers that some of the governors have, they've not been able to pay them even the 70,000 minimum wage. They are still battling with 30,000 salary as minimum wage. So we for us to have good leaders, it's not about the party. Look at the person. What is their antecedent? Are they the people of compassion? Because most of the people we have today right now are people that go to native doctors. They are people that belong to one form of cult or the other. They are the ones that are in Nigerian politics. You must be occultic to survive in the political water. For you to survive in the political water in Nigeria, you must be an occultic person. You must be somebody that dines with the devil. They have access to sitting down, dining with the devil and the rest. And you don't expect anything good from these people. The last time we hear of some of the witches and the rest and boasting and say they control the election. Now they control the election, they should control service delivery. If they say they produce the winner, what is the effect of the people? Because there is nothing good that comes from the devil. Nothing good. So those Satan-assisted leaders we have in Nigeria, it is foolishness for you to think that you can have anything to do better from them. They cannot provide good leadership because the process through which they come in is faulty. All eyes will be in Edo State, but like I said, I don't have confidence in INEC at all. There are those who might have confidence in them, but me, I don't. Because I know they will end up with the same story. The same story. The same story. That will finally be stamped by the judiciary. Finally be stamped by the judiciary. I mean, Rivers State, we saw a very peaceful election that was done in Rivers State to produce local government payment. Even as peaceful as the election is, or was, they still have controversy. They were fighting to annul it to do